Humanity's awakening is happening right now. May 24, 2015. Humanity's awakening is inevitable. Of course you have heard that many times before, but within the illusion, doubts and anxieties assail you almost constantly. That is why it is necessary for me to keep reminding you, so that you hold your course regardless of the apparent lack of physical evidence within the illusory environment on which you focus most of your attention, to confirm that God's plan is unfolding just as He intends. The illusion is a place in which inconsistencies flourish. New information arises that displaces previously held beliefs by demonstrating their inadequacies, and the pace at which that is happening is constantly accelerating. No wonder you feel so assailed. The illusion is an environment of almost constant change, peace to war, love to hate, trust to betrayal, and reversals of those states. At this point in your spiritual evolution, and everyone physically incarnate on earth is here to evolve spiritually, an enormous effort is being maintained through prayer, meditation, and through humanity's intense desire for positive change, to move from violence to non-violence, from endless states of war to lasting peace, and awareness is growing that this can only happen if people trust each other and absolutely refrain from betraying that trust. The briefest moment spent considering what is required to bring a state of peaceful and harmonious coexistence to all on earth makes it quite clear that no progress can be made without first establishing trust, and to do that, it is apparent that all cultures, ethnicities, lifestyles, religious and political beliefs must absolutely respect all others. The intense egoic need to be right that so many have, the need to belong to the right religion, the right political party, the right nation, the right fill in the blanks, is, as history never fails to demonstrate, an unmitigated recipe for disaster, because it spends its time making others wrong, and thereby making others its enemies. Worldwide, as children are born and start to grow, they have egos that need to grow and mature to enable them to live on earth as wise and balanced individuals. Initially they have needs that they cannot fulfill for themselves, needs that require acknowledgement and fulfillment by someone other than themselves, and so they have to learn to attract the attention of those who are there to provide for those needs, and that attention-seeking behavior strengthens their egos. This is normal. What is not normal, but in fact always happens, is that these egos, the egos of nearly every individual human without exception, are hurt and abused to a greater or lesser extent by their caregivers during their years of growth to adulthood. Generally the caregiver's intent is to teach and not to harm, but because of the damage that the caregivers themselves have experienced, they teach fear, not love. They unintentionally betray the trust of those for whom they are responsible, mostly believing that it is for their own good. The result is that the little ones growing up experience betrayal of their trust by those who are there to nurture them, and they are consequently conditioned to expect betrayal and thus learn to be forever on their guard. Consequently, trust is not something they will offer lightly to another, once they have lived through those unavoidable human growth experiences and had it betrayed. How can humanity move forward then? The only way forward is by trusting one another, and yet to do that seems at best insane and at worst a total denial of reality. Your experience shows you that trusting individuals are gullible, unwise, immature, lacking intelligence, and are almost always betrayed. And yet reason and logic make it abundantly clear that without trust, progress towards lasting peace is impossible. It would seem that humanity is caught in a catch-22 situation. There appears to be no way to escape from an absence of trust because, as experience shows most clearly, those who trust are always betrayed. Nevertheless, the only way forwards is by choosing to trust. The vast majority of humans want only to live in peace and harmony with everyone else. When that state is achieved, as it has been many times in small communities, amazing cooperative creative ventures are undertaken and brought lovingly to fruition. However, the success of those communities arouses jealousy among those whose environments are less loving. If you look closely at what happens, you will see that only a very small number of badly damaged individuals are needed to unsettle a harmonious community by spreading rumor and gossip. That is the point, only a very small number of damaged individuals are needed to unsettle a community, because others listen to them and believe their embittered gossip. If that gossip is ignored, the gossipers move somewhere else. They seek egoic satisfaction in destroying the harmony and peace that others have established because they themselves are so damaged. And because they are in such intense pain, which is mostly denied and buried deep within them, they wait attentively for an opportunity to project that pain onto others for the slight relief it brings to them. When individuals are that badly damaged, their only pleasure is found in hurting others. When you meet or interact with someone as hurt as that, do not judge or condemn them, just intend for them to be healed, and send them love or blessings. That is one of your earthly tasks. The way forwards therefore is to ignore all gossip, and instead to trust your own intuitive sense which tells you that others can be trusted, and then to trust them. Yes, within the illusion, your present apparent home environment, your trust will be betrayed occasionally. But, being an illusion, those experiences cannot harm you, they are just unreal dreams from which you will awaken. The way forwards towards your awakening is to forgive those who betray you. As I said above, only a very small number of damaged individuals are needed to unsettle a community. However, if the community refuses to be influenced or manipulated by those in pain, then those efforts are ineffective. Each and every human, each beloved child of God, is permanently connected to the divine field of love in which all of creation is eternally maintained, but the illusion, which seems so real to those living within it, is ego-driven and fear-driven, and it does everything it can to convince you that you are an insignificant life form whose existence is short and meaningless. And of course that is its purpose. It was conceived of and built to allow you to experience separation from your source, the infinitely loving God who created you in joy and for joy. Your real state of existence, eternally present in the field of love that is God, is unalterable. You are there always, and you have never left. You could never leave because there is, as you are constantly being reminded, nowhere else. Therefore there is nothing to fear. As we in the spiritual realms keep telling you, through the various channels that we use to make contact with you, and through the divine intuition that you each have access to in every moment, there is only love. God, the divine source of all that exists, the soul awareness, the one sentient consciousness that permeates every individual mind, is love. You are never absent from God, and therefore love is your true and inviolable nature. What you experience within the dream, within the illusion, fear, conflict, betrayal, suffering, pain, and constant confusion, is unreal. When you detach from the illusion, even momentarily, by going within to that sacred place where the flame of God's love burns constantly within you, then you will find peace. By going within and intending to know God, your divine source, the place from which you arise renewed in every moment, you spread and extend love to all with whom you interact in any way at all. That is your purpose during this incarnation. You chose to incarnate as a human this time around to help others to awaken, because the love that you share with God motivates you most powerfully to bring all of humanity home to their natural state of awareness that all are one with God. You know that state, and being love incarnate you want everyone to experience it permanently. You are in truth perfectly in alignment with the divine will, and you are walking on earth to shine the light of God's love so brightly that no one can fail to see it. That light is shining brilliantly all across the world because so many of you chose to be on earth at this time to awaken humanity. No other options are available. Humanity will awaken, and the chaos and confusion that seem to be intensifying all across the world are clear indications that humanity's awakening is happening right now. Your loving brother, Jesus. Channeled by John Smallman. johnsmallman2.wordpress.com